Well, I certainly think so. I think this is, we have to take risk. I think without taking risk, things are not going to work. And I think the Prime Minister has got a point. And the point being that I think he's taking political risk in terms of getting things to move forward. He's got the public sector units to start investing money. And I think we need to match the political risk-taking, how should I say, initiative with the risk that the private sector has to take to match that. I think as a private sector, we just can't wait and for things to kind of develop further and so on. It's only when both sides take risk equally are we going to see substantial growth.
Mr. Agrawal, from a more macro point of view, people are talking about the global crisis and what kind of an opportunity it is to really lie for India. Many people believe this is India's historic moment to leverage the opportunity that's coming in from a slowdown in China. Are you one of those people who believes that India can actually be that engine of growth?
Well, I would rather have a more balanced approach towards this. There clearly is an opportunity. I mean, there are challenges in China, but I don't think that means that the entire business kind of shifts to India overnight. But we clearly have an opportunity. And I think the larger point is that India offers an opportunity for sustained and steady growth. You aren't going to see bumps, like suddenly, all of a sudden, things shooting up, all of a sudden, things kind of going down. So that's the steady clip which I think India offers to industry all over the world, and that's what we need to capitalize on.
I want to speak to you specifically about the yuan devaluation because companies like yourselves operate in big markets like China. You're also present here in India. Does a move like that make us mute spectators? Because many people believe it puts the rupee's competitiveness at risk. We perhaps can do precious little when yuan is devalued. What is your take on it?
So I think for a company like GE, I mean, we treat foreign exchange as raw material. These are things that you really can't control. There are so many factors that go into it. I think inherently there needs to be competitiveness. And competitiveness cannot be determined on the basis of the strength of currency. Even if for a short while you've got a weak currency and thereby you can in a sense promote exports, we all know that that is temporary. We all know that inflation will catch up. So that is not the point. The point is that inherently are we productive, are we competitive? And that is something that we need to focus on and not so much on the strength of the currency.
The global commodity crash and the kind of opportunity it creates for companies like yourselves, the finance minister yesterday said that investment should make the most of this present commodity crash. Do you believe there's an opportunity to leverage that? I mean, other than the point that it really impacts the fisc in a big way and gives us a lot of elbow room in the fiscal space from the government's exchequer point of view, but for companies like yourselves, how are you going to leverage the commodity crash that the world has seen?
Well, I think the global commodity crash, particularly oil and gas prices, is maybe good for India because we import a lot of that stuff. But overall, I think if you see a lower commodity price or a lower oil and gas price also indicates that globally the world is kind of slowing down. So in the larger context, I think it's an even balance in terms of is it good or is it bad? It's bad because the global markets are smaller. The opportunity to export in that sense is a little smaller because markets are not growing as much. Now, I think for a country like India, we need to certainly capitalize on it, make the most of it while we can, see how can we address the entire issue of energy subsidies, see if we can address the entire electricity subsidy issue on the back of weak primary energy prices and so on, and make the most of it so that when the cycle turns, and I think let's make no mistake, the cycle will turn,
yes.
We are then ready to face the global markets on an even keel.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.